A very good afternoon, Diabo. It's a rolling event here at the Cape Town International Convention Center. This is where about 800 delegates have gathered, and they'll gather here for 3 days to try and craft solutions. Solutions, that's the buzzword from this event here from the morning to where we are right now. Those African countries really coming through, bringing through their ministers to come and talk about the solutions that are needed to the energy crisis. You can imagine that most of them are looking at South Africa, where the load shedding process is happening, where the economy has not been moving and doing well. Most of them are really depending on this country to get it right, for them to also get it right. Also, Diabo, just talking about the just energy transition process that most are inundated with, the issue of renewable energy. They're saying that they need to understand how most of these things are going to be funded, Diabo. Also, this Indaba coming through at a time where economies across board, when the African continent have not been doing well for quite some time, and they're saying that central to them getting it right is the energy issue that would need to be championed at this 3-day Indaba. I've been able to speak to some delegates from the African continent, and I'm going to bring into the conversation right now Mr. Ebrahim Matola. He's the energy minister from Malawi, joining us on the SABC this afternoon. So just let us in on your role here. We know very well that you're saying that we need to do away with talk shop. We need to make sure that at this point in time we come through with those solutions. Welcome to the SABC.
Thank you very much, and giving me this opportunity in order to share the experiences from Malawi, but also as Africa as a continent, because we are trying to promote the regional integration. I'll start by saying that it is very important that countries should look into policies, the review of policies, in order to remove the burden of taxes, VAT, duty on the electrical renewable appliances, so that the middle income and the low earner income should afford to have the renewable sources appliances. But also lifeline tariffs, because these are the things which are also killing the low income earners. So governments and institutions and the utilities should look into the removing or having a tailor-made lifeline tariff. Another thing is that we should invest a lot in the renewable energy, which is also cheaper. For example, geothermal. These are the cheaper sources of energy. And then also God-given, where there is no any other sanctions between the countries. So the sun, the rivers, the water is just flowing. The rainfall which we are already given by God is just sailing through, flowing into the bigger rivers and then into the ocean without capturing that water, so that we can have renewable energies from that water.
Mr. Matola, I mean, when you look at it, all of these, natural resources have been there for quite some time. And we know that South Africa and South Africa as well, we can count many of these resources. Why haven't we been tapping into that? Isn't that a missed opportunity from our side? And what difference will this Indaba here then make when you're going back to your respective countries to start implementing? Where have been the gap in terms of us implementing and tapping into these sources?
I've said after the Minister of Energy, Comrade Gwede Mantashe, when he spoke, I came in with the intervention during the panel discussion that Africa lost the opportunity long time ago. For example, we need to start from the cradle, teaching our children, factoring in our syllabuses, so that we know the transfer of information and technologies should be done from the childhood, not to keep us with the old syllabuses where we are going to be taught about how many oceans in the world, how many rivers. Africa has got the longest river, Zambezi, the tallest mountain in Africa, all these things. When we go also biology, They're teaching us how many parts of grasshopper, bisecting the rat, which has got nothing to do. And when you go to history, we are busy. Who discovered Cape Town? Vasco da Gama, Samuel Baker, who discovered River Niger. That thing cannot help us. We need to go into realities. The reality is just transfer of information. Our children, our school syllabuses, students should start learning the transferring of these technologies. Not when I'm old, that's when I'm going to be taught about hydrogen. I need to know it today. So this thing of our education system should be looked into, that we should factor in so that we can know these new technologies. You see how China, it's in their language. Japanese, they do all these computers and programming. It's in their languages. Africa, time has come that we can interpret and put all these technologies and the languages into our own mother languages so that it can be very easy for students. So we need to develop mini grids, because we can't reach with the grid, national grid, to the far end. I'll give you an example of what is happening. They are sicknesses. They are vaccines, which we are receiving. But these vaccines, we don't have where to keep them. We end up destroying them because we don't have bankable refrigerators. This is the time when we need to invest a lot in energy so that the issues of health, we tackle it.
Mr. Ebrahim Matola, I'm sorry, they say we have to leave it here due to time, but he's coming through as the Minister of Energy in Malawi, just talking about his contribution here, saying that there have been a lot of missed opportunities. Education, if we get it right from the foundation phase in crafting those solutions, we can get it right, infusing technology and making sure that, as we move towards the just energy transition or those interventions, we need to take some of these solutions that are coming from these ministers and role players here into consideration. But those discussions, Diabo, continue this afternoon. They are going to be talking also about renewable energy. They'll be focusing on that in the afternoon. And this is where those solutions will keep coming from the African leaders like Mr. Ebrahim Matola here from Malawi. Diabo?